Hello, Shabbat Shalom. Um, Welcome to the weekly Torah portion. The 19th weekly Torah portion is Terumah. I probably butchered that. We'll be reading, uh, which means heave offering or contribution. We'll be reading from the Torah portion, Exodus 25, chapter 25 through chapter 27, 19, verse 19. From the Torah portion, we'll be reading from First Kings chapter 5, 26 through chapter 6, 13, verse 13. And then from the Apostles, the New Testament, Gospel, however you want to say it, I'll have two readings. One from Mark, chapter 12, 35 through 44, and from Hebrews 8, verses 1 through 6. In Exodus, Yahweh is going to ask the Israelites to contribute certain materials voluntarily. If the Spirit moves them, voluntarily give these materials to them. This is for the building of the Mishkah, or the tabernacle. Okay, so we'll get on with it. Exodus 25 on page 83. We're reading from the Scriptures, 2009 version. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, that they take up a contribution for me. From everyone whose heart moves him, you shall take up my contribution. And this is the contribution which you take up from them: gold and silver and bronze and blue and purple and scarlet materials and fine linen and goat's hair, ram skin dyed red and fine leather and acacia wood, oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense, shoham stones and stones to be set on the shoulder garment and in the breastplate. And they shall make me a set apart place, and I shall dwell in their midst, according to all that I showed, the pattern of the dwelling place and the pattern of all its furnishings. Make it exactly so. And they shall make an ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, and 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. And you shall overlay it with clean gold, inside and outside. And you shall overlay it, and you shall make it on its molding of gold all around. And you shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in its 4 corners, 2 rings on one side, 2 rings on the other side. And you shall make poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, and shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark, to lift up the ark by them. The poles are in the rings of the ark, they are not to be taken from it. And into the ark you shall put the witness, capital W, which I give you. And you shall make a lid of atonement of clean gold, 2.5 cubits long, and 1.5 cubits wide. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold. Make them of beaten work at the 2 ends of the lid of atonement. And make 1 cherubim at one end and the other at the other end. Make the cherubim from the lid of atonement at its 2 ends. And the cherubim shall be spreading out their wings above, covering the lid of atonement with their wings, with their faces toward each other, the faces of the cherubim turned toward the lid of atonement. And you shall put the lid of atonement on top of the ark, and put into the ark the witness which I give you. And I shall meet with you there. And from above the lid of atonement, from between the two cherubim which are on the ark of the witness, I shall speak to you all that I command you concerning the children of Israel. And you shall make a table of Arcadia wood, 2 cubits long, and a cubit wide, and a cubit and a half feet high. And you shall overlay it with clean gold, and shall make a molding of gold all around it, and shall make it a rim of hand breadth all around, and shall make a gold molding for the rim all around. And you shall make it for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings on the corners, 4 corners, that are its 4 legs. The rings are close to the rim, as holders for the poles to lift the table. And you shall make the poles of Arcadia wood, and overlay them with gold. And the table shall be lifted with them. And you shall make it dishes, and its ladles, and its jars, and its bowls for pouring. Make them of clean gold. And you shall put the showbread on the table before me continually. And you shall make a lampstand of clean gold. The lampstand is made of beaten work, and its base and its shaft, its cups, its ornamental knobs and blossoms are from it. And 6 branches shall come out of its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out on one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand on the other side. 3 cups made like almond flowers on the one branch, with ornamental knob and blossom. 3 cups made like almond flowers on the other branch, like ornamental knob and blossom. For the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand. And on each lampstand itself are 4 cups made like almond flowers, with ornamental knob and blossoms. And a knob under the first 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the second 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the third 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand. Their knobs and their branches are of the same, all of it one beaten work of clean gold. And you shall make 7 lamps for it, and shall mount its lamps so that they give light in front of it. And its snuffers and their trays are of clean gold. It is made of talent of clean gold, with all the utensils. So see and do according to the pattern which was shown to you on the mountain. 26. And make the dwelling place with 10 curtains of fine woven linen, and blue and purple and scarlet material. Make them with cherubim, the work of a skilled workman. The length of each curtain is 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, and the curtains having one measure. 5 curtains are joined to each other, and 5 curtains are joined to each other. You shall make loops of blue on the edge of the end curtain on one set, and do the same on the edge of the end curtain on the second set. Make 50 loops in the one curtain, and 50 loops on the edge of the end of the second curtain, the loops being opposite of each other. And you shall make 50 hooks of gold, and shall join the curtains together with the hooks, and the dwelling place shall be one. And you shall make curtains of goat's hair for the tent over the dwelling place. Make 11 curtains. The length of each curtain is 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, one measure to the 11 curtains. And you shall join the 5 curtains by themselves, and the 6 curtains by themselves, and you shall double over the 6 curtains at the front of the tent. One second here. And you shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain, that it's outermost in one set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain of the second set. And you shall make 50 bronze hooks, and put the hooks into the hoops, and join the tent together, and it shall be one. And the overlapping part of the rest of the curtain of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the back of the dwelling place, and a cubit on one side and a cubit on the other side of what remains of the length of the curtains of the tent is to hang over the side of the dwelling place, on this side and on that side, to cover it. And you shall make a covering of ram's skin dyed red for the tent, and a covering of fine leather above that. And for the dwelling place you shall make the boards of Arcadia wood standing up. 10 cubits is the length of a board, and a cubit and a half the width of each board. 2 tenons in each board for binding one to another. Do the same for all the boards of the dwelling place. And you shall make the boards of the dwelling place 20 boards for the south side, and make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under each of the boards for its 2 tenons. And for the second side of the dwelling place on the north side, 20 boards, and their 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under each of the boards. And for the extreme parts of the dwelling place westward, make 6 boards, and make 2 boards for the back corners of the dwelling place, and they are double width, and they are double beneath, and similarly they are complete on top to the one ring. So it is for both of them. They are for the 2 corners. And they shall be 8 boards, and their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one board and 2 sockets under the other board. And you shall make bars of Arcadia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the dwelling place, and 5 bars for the boards on the other side of the dwelling place, and 5 bars on the boards on the side of the dwelling place for the extreme parts westward, with the middle bar in the midst of the boards, going through from end to end. And overlay the boards with gold, and make the rings of gold as holders of the bars, and overlay the bars with gold. And you shall raise up the dwelling place according to its pattern which you were shown on the mountain. And you shall make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine woven linen, the work of a skilled workman, made with cherubim. And you shall put it on the 4 columns, 4 columns of Arcadia wood, overlaid with gold, their hooks of gold, upon 4 sockets of silver. And you shall hang the veil from the hooks, and you shall bring the ark to the witness there behind the veil, and the veil shall make a separation for you between the set apart place and the most set apart place. And you shall put the lid of atonement upon the ark of the witness in the most set apart place. And you shall set the table outside the veil, and the lampstand outside the table on the side of the dwelling place toward the south, and put the table on the north side. And you shall make a covering for the door of a tent, of blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine woven, made by a weaver. And you shall make for the covering 5 columns of Arcadia wood, overlay them with gold, the hooks of gold, and you shall cast 7 sockets of bronze for them. And you shall make a slaughter place of Arcadia wood, chapter 27. And you shall make a slaughter place of Arcadia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. A slaughter place is square, and its height 3 cubits. And you shall make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns are of the same, and you shall overlay it with bronze. And you shall make its pots to receive its ashes, and its shovels, and basins, and its forks, and fire the holders. Make all the utensils of bronze. Excuse me. And you shall make, verse 4, and you shall make a grating for it, a bronze network, and you shall make it on the network 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners, and shall put it under the rim of the slaughter place beneath, so that the network is halfway up the slaughter place. And you shall make poles for the slaughter place, poles of Arcadia wood, and shall overlay them with bronze. And the poles shall be put in the rings, and the poles shall be on the 2 sides of the slaughter place for lifting. Make it hollow with boards, as it was shown to you on the mountain, so that they are to make it. And you shall make the courtyard of the dwelling place for the south side screens for the courtyard, made of fine woven 100 cubits long for one side, and 20 columns, and their 20 sockets of bronze, the hooks of the columns, and their bands of silver. And so for the north side in length, screens 100 cubits long, and its 20 columns, and their 20 sockets of bronze, and hooks of the columns, and their bands of silver. And the width of the courtyard on the west side of the column of the west side screens is 50 cubits, with their 10 columns and 10 sockets. And the width of the column on the east side 50 cubits, and the screens on one side of the gate 15 cubits, with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets. And on the other side screens of 15 cubits, with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets. And for the gate of the courtyard, a covering 20 cubits long, of blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine woven linen, made by a weaver, 4 columns and 4 sockets. And all the columns around the courtyard have bands of silver, their hooks silver, and their sockets bronze. The length of the courtyard is 100 cubits, and the width 50 by 50, and the height 5 cubits, woven of fine linen thread, and its socket of bronze. 27:19. All the utensils of the dwelling place for all its service, and its pegs, and all the pegs of the courtyard are bronze. Moving on to Kings, 1 Kings, chapter 5, verse 26. I'm sorry. 1 Kings, chapter 5, verse 12. I don't know why I wrote down that. Through 6:13. And Yahweh gave Solomon wisdom, as he promised. It's on page 353. Sorry. 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 12 on page 353. And Yahweh gave Solomon wisdom as he promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and the two of them made a covenant. And sovereign Solomon raised up compulsory labor out of all Israel. And the compulsory labor was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon 10,000 per new moon of courses. They were 1 new moon in Lebanon, 2 new moons at home. And Adoram was over the compulsory labor. And Solomon had 70,000 bearing burdens and 80,000 hewing stones in the mountains. And besides 3,300 for the chief of Solomon's deputies who were over the work, those ruling over the people who labored in the work. And the sovereign commanded, and they brought large stones, precious stones, to lay the foundation of the house with hew stones. And Solomon's builders and Hiram's builders and the men of Gerba did hew and prepare timber and stones to build the house. Chapter 6. And it came to be in the 418th year after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Mizraim, in the 4th year in the reign of Solomon over Israel, in the new moon of Ziva, Z-I-W, which is the 2nd new moon, that he began to build the house of Yahweh. And the house which sovereign Solomon built for Yahweh was 60 cubits long and 20 cubits wide and 30 cubits in height. For the porch of the front of the hekel of the house was 20 cubits long, according to the breadth of the house and its 10 widths, and its 10 cubits from the front of the house. And he made for the house windows with narrow frames, and against the wall of the house he built rooms all around against the wall of the house. And against the wall of the house he built rooms all around, against the walls of the house, all around the hekel and the speaking place. Thus he made side rooms all around. The lowest side room was 5 cubits wide, and the middle one was 6 cubits wide, and the third one was 7 cubits wide. And he made narrow ledges all around the house so as not to lay hold on the walls of the house. And the house, when it was being built, he built with furnished stone, made ready beforehand, so that no hammer or chisel or iron tool could have heard in the house which was being built. The doorway in the middle room was on the right side of the house, and they went up by stairs to the middle side of the room, and then from the middle to the third. So he built the house and completed it. And he paneled the house with beams and boards of cedar, and he built the side rooms of the structure against all the house, each 5 cubits high, and they were fastened to the house with cedar beams. And the word of Yahweh came to Solomon, saying, This house which you are building, if you walk in my laws and do my right rulings and shall guard all my commands and walk in them, then I shall confirm my word with you, which I spoke to your father David, and shall dwell in the midst of the children of Israel and not forsake my people Israel. Okay, moving on to Mark chapter 12. Verse 35 through 44, page 973. And Yeshua responding said, while teaching in the set-apart place, how is it that the scribes say that Messiah is the son of David? David himself said by the set-apart Spirit, Yahweh said to my master, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool of your feet. Psalms 110, verse 1. And David himself called him master. In what way then is he son? In what way then is he his son? And a large crowd heard him gladly. And in his teaching he was saying to them, beware of the scribes who like to walk around in long robes and like greetings in the marketplaces, and the best seats in the congregations, and the best places at feasts, who are devouring widows' houses, and for a show make long prayers. These shall receive greater judgment. And sitting opposite the treasury, he said, he saw how the people put copper into the treasury. Many rich ones put in much. A poor widow came and threw in 2 leptons, which amount to quadrans. And he called near his taught ones. He said to them, truly I say to you, that this poor widow has put in more than all those putting into the treasury. For they all put in out of their excess, but she, out of her poverty, put in all she had, her entire livelihood. We're going to finish up with Hebrews chapter 8, verses 1 through 6. So we're in the home stretch. Hebrews 8 is on page 1171. Now the summary of what we are saying is, we have such a high priest who is seated at the right hand throne of the greatness in the heavens, and who serves in the set-apart place, and of the true tent which Yahweh set up, and not man. For every high priest is appointed to offer both gifts and slaughters. So it was also necessary for this one to have somewhat to offer. For if indeed he were on earth, he would not be priest, since there are priests who offer the gifts according to Torah, who serve a copy and shadow of the heavenly, as Moshe was warned when he was about to make the tent. For he said, see that you make all according to the pattern shown you on the mountain. Exodus 25:40. But now he has obtained a more excellent service, inasmuch as he is also mediator of a better covenant, which was constituted on better promises. For I'm just going to read out this here. For if the first covenant has been faultless, then no place would have been sought for a second. For finding fault with them, he, Yahweh, says, see, the days are coming, says Yahweh, when I shall conclude in the house of Israel and with the house of Judah a renewed covenant, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mizraim, because they did not continue in my covenant, and I disregarded them, says Yahweh. Because of this is the covenant that I shall make with the house of Israel after those days, says Yahweh, giving my laws in their minds, and I shall write them on their hearts, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And they shall by no means teach each one his neighbor, and each one his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, because they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, because I shall forgive their unrighteousness and their sins and their lawlessness. I shall no longer remember. Jeremiah 31, Jeremiah chapter 31, verses 31 through 34. It's the longest quoted verses in the book here. 13 we'll finish off with. By saying renewed, he has made the first old. Now, what becomes old and growing aged is near disappearing. Shabbat Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the Father.